Hi guys, welcome to the Black Planning channel, and today we're going to be looking at marriage. How does marriage affect your business, consideration, how you should navigate it, and just really some information based on an article that I came across from News 24. Let's get into it. What I want to focus on is, as it is right now in South Africa, we have three basic marriage regimes, which is your marriage in community of property, which is the 50-50, the most common one. And then you have married out of community of property, of which divides into two, where you have accrual and non-accrual, right? So as a business person, whether you're a man or woman, it's very important for you to understand objectively what any of these options means for your business and your wealth effectively, because now it's very important for many people, especially couples that are going into marriage, that marriage is a contract, and contracts affect your well-being, they affect your wealth, and subsequently they also affect your health. So it's very important, as a person making a decision, as a couple making a decision, that you guys choose the right regime for you as a couple, for your financial life and your future plans. If you get married in community of property, we are 50-50. Legally speaking, you guys become one person. So in other words, anything that you sign as a married person in community of property, whatever you sign, your spouse has to also be part of that signing process. Their signature is very important, so you cannot do things by yourself. Now, in community of property resembles the idealistic message and characteristics of marriage. It's true love, two become one. That's what in community of property resembles. But now the issue is, many people mistaken in community of property as a way to show true love. And for me, I always speak this to my clients, say, guys, do not go for in community of property simply because if you don't choose it, it means that you're planning to fail and such and such. Like, no, you go into in community of property if you're sure. You need to be certain. Don't just do it. Don't make it an emotional decision. Make sure that if you guys are doing this, you guys have the correct financial stance, because ultimately it becomes a financial issue. Yes, you guys might be in love, everything is sharp, everything is grand, honeymoon phase and all of that, but when it comes to the financial consideration, things can get very ugly when it comes to in community of property. Once again, check out my previous videos where I talk about finding your financial partner. Out of community, non-accrual. So this one, as it is, to summarize it, you come as you are, and if you guys divorce, you leave as you were. In other words, if you came in with your 100 rand, you come in with your 100 rand. If it's still there after you guys are divorced, that's what you take. There's no sharing, no whatsoever. So once again, when you are making these types of decisions, choosing which marriage regime, it's very important to understand your financial standing, because when you're entering the marriage the first time, money is not really the most important thing. But when you're leaving, guess what? You're going to be thinking about money, because time would have lapsed, and you would be thinking, what are you going to do now, since you've lost so much, or you've given so much into the marriage, and then you're coming out of nothing. So this one is the opposite of married in community of property, in the sense that when you are emotional and things, everybody's saying whatever they're saying. Married out of community is the marriage regime that people say, take this one to protect your wealth. What I made does not belong to my wife. At the end of the day, I bring in what I bring in, and I take what I brought in. So that one, it's a little bit of a hard stand, and for me personally, I think it's unfair. But once again, objectively choose these options, and make sure you guys as a couple are choosing them based on true objectives that are helping to build your marriage. Because at the end of the day, marriage is a contract, guys. Do not forget that it's a contract that you sign. If you cheat, you are the breach of the contract, and consequences and remedies need to be applied to the parties that have been, that are experiencing the breach, and that they, getting the wrong end of the breach, so to speak. So, in essence, married out of community with no accrual, it's a cruel system. But at the end of the day, yes, guys, once again, when you are married in this capacity, you are able to separate issues. Your credit worthiness is yours. You're still an individual person, legally speaking. You don't have to do things with the consent of your partner, you can do things independently. And this works for certain people. Once again, make sure you choose the right regime for yourself. And then lastly, we have married out of community of property, but with accrual. Now, this for me, it's the best compromise, or it's the best compromise. It's the best option in terms of my belief, simply because you still maintain your credit worthiness, left and right, still has their own independent credit worthiness. But because you guys are in a marriage, effectively you guys are working together. Whatever that you come in with, that's what you keep. But what you guys build together once you're married, that's what you guys share. So effectively, what you breed in is what you keep, but what you guys build together is what you share. Now, for me, this one is completely fair, because in most cases, if you were outside the marriage, you did your own thing, you want to make sure that whatever that you have, you maintain it and it's yours, or you keep it as it is. But whatever you guys build together, it's only fair that you guys share, because at the end of the day, when you're married to someone, you guys are a partnership. You guys are doing things together, even though you're not directly doing certain things together. If that's the case, some couples work together, but at the end of the day, you guys are a couple. There's some, you guys are living in the same household. There's something that you guys are doing together that contributes to your success. So this one for me is the most fair one, because at the end of the day, why would you be marrying someone that you don't love and you're going to be spending the rest of your life with, assumably so, and at the end of the day, you don't want to be building wealth and health with them? So it's very important to understand that aspect. Once again, with this one, you're able to separate issues in terms of your individuality. You're able to participate, but once again, you guys are supposed to be in consent and be aware that should things go to the extent where you guys get divorced, things will be shared in appropriation of the start of the marriage up until the end. I keep on reminding my clients, marriage is a contract. Whatever that happens, your spouse can have some sort of a legal right to claim something from you simply because of breach of contract. So at the end of the day, just because you're married in this one or whatever regime, at the end of the day, there's always possible, claims that can be stated towards you. I'm not speaking as a lawyer right now, I'm speaking as a business accountant who has done commercial law, and I do deal with little legal stuff from a commercial law perspective that I've been trained upon. And for me, marriage regimes is very important to understand, especially from a financial advisory point of view, because at the end of the day, when you get into those spaces where you have to be choosing which regime, it will have a financial implication. So at the end of the day, it's very, very important, guys, that don't dive into a marriage emotionally only, but make sure that you have objective reasons where you start discussing, planning, have a strategic planning session where you guys talk about which regime is best for you based on now. Don't look at the future, don't look at what will be, look at right now, where are you standing, who are you, and figure it out which one is the best. Once again, I have said that for me, the best one will be out of community with accrual. But at the end of the day, there are those people that believe in community, and when you look at customary marriages, they are by default in community of property. So that's why a lot of people that don't have an understanding, people don't incorporate lawyers or whatever expertise into their decision making, they end up going into the default, and then when they want to get divorced, it's a bit of a problem, because now things have to be shared, and somehow they believe that their spouse does not deserve what they have, and once again, you're in a problem. So once again, don't make it an emotional thing. Make sure that when you get into these type of things, remember there's tax implications, there's wealth implications. Make sure you choose the right system for your life, for you guys as a couple, a system that you both agree on. And also, just because you have things does not make you the default leader. You must remember now, even people that have less within, the marriage, they also have a say, because at the end of the day, they cannot be emotionally using their position as the weaker person to justify a greater cut, or to be justified upon a lower cut. Whatever the case may be, goes both ways. But what I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, make sure you guys are fair to one another. Fairness is very key. Objectivity is very key as well. Be careful who you talk to about these type of arrangements, because if you talk too much to family has a biases will come into your marriage, and they will really create cracks which will eventually fail. So thanks again for watching, guys. Please remember to comment down below if you have any stories or whatever that you just want to say, comment about your experience when you had to, you know, if you're already married, what was your experience when you guys had to talk about the marriage regime? I know a lot of people struggle to really drop that position, especially if you're the one with the wealth and then you're speaking to a partner that does not have the wealth, and it can be a little bit awkward because it's like, you know, what are you trying to do? But once again, it's very, very important that you guys have that discussion. And remember to like this video, share this video with as many people as you can. It really helps the channel. And yeah, guys, remember to subscribe. Hope you learned something. See you on the next one.